Let's talk about this fucking pandemic that's hitting the fucking world right now. It's causing all sorts of fucking craziness going on here. Let's talk about the fucking coronavirus. We've got two stories here coming up that that kind of are related because of the virus and the havoc that it's causing in the world right now. First, we have No Time to Die, the new Bond film that's was supposed to be dropping in April, and now it's going to be pushed back into November of 2020. Let me give you a bit of an expert here. I think this is from IndieWire. With the coronavirus socking it to the Asian box office, Deadline has learned that MGM, Eon, and Universal are postponing the next Bond movie, No Time to Die, from its UK and international release date of April 2nd and its US Easter weekend global day and date, April 10th, and moving the 25th 007 movie to November 25th, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Failing at the box office is not an option for Mr. Bond, and for the studios to stick to their original release plan would mean a disservice to their partners in exhibition. This is I don't think it's an unprecedented sort of like thing happening here, like in terms of moving the release date for a kind of a big tentpole film. But I think it is strange.
I mean, the circumstances are,
yeah, I think that's what I'm
both untimely, unfortunate, and if you have a project like this, right, and it's a Bond film, right, and it has a long, rich history of, you know, success, and this is the 25th installment, right?
Yeah,
you need this film to be successful, right? When you look at the dollar signs, right, it makes absolute sense. I don't put this fucking movie in theaters when there's a virus and people are being advised not to congregate in like large groups in like indoor spaces.
Well,
the problem is
that this shows the effect of China on the U.S. filmmakers, meaning that like China is such a big market for U.S. films, especially big tentpole films like the Bond franchise, that they would risk like losing a little bit of money on the front end in order to gain that money back on the back end. So they know that they stand to gain a lot more money if they have an open China market than if everything's kind of shut down because of this coronavirus. Which I think is a calculated move, but is a move that will pay off nonetheless. Now, it's strange to me that they put it all the way back in November. I think, and Bond kind of has a history of being released in November. I think a lot of the 90s films were released in the November time slot. But
I think that makes more sense than like going for the summer blockbuster, right? Going for like the July release.
Yeah, why not for Bond?
This film seems better suited for like bottom of the year or top of the year.
Why?
I don't know. Summer is usually better for like those big action, you know, Transformers, right? Fucking.
Is this not a big?
I mean, yes,
movie?
this is going to be a big action movie, but it's more of like a spy, espionage, political, whatever movie, right?
Your argument is very flimsy.
I think October, November, December makes more sense for this movie, whereas like you leave summer for like the superhero action movies, right?
Well, the only thing that I could think of is that if it doesn't want to compete with other films in order to maximize its profits,
maybe and I can't think off the hand of what's coming out in like July, August, September.
Glad you say. Here are here's a rough list of some other sort of big name films that are coming out, and this one's not necessarily even a big name film, but in March we have New Mutants coming out. So I wonder, and I wonder if, yeah, I know, right? Yeah. I wonder if they're going to move back a lot of these films depending on what happens with the coronavirus from now as we push closer to that sort of like spring, summertime arena. Like if we're still dealing with this in a massive way, if China's still shut down,
Yeah.
Like one of the other
Shut
movies.
down China.
I mean, look, hey, China is on lockdown right now. Nobody's going anywhere right now. But look, we have New Mutants coming out in March. We have in May Black Widow.
Isn't Wonder Woman coming out in March?
No, June. June. And that was actually on my list. But then also you have Fast and Furious 9 coming out in May. So this is coming up quick. Like right now, we're just starting March. But really, before we know it, April's going to get here. So I wonder, and it's interesting because Bond.
Damn, I forgot about April. That is a whole month.
That is a month. That's
shit.
Yes, that's on the calendar.
We have to live through it too, to get to May.
Yeah. So yeah, Bond was really supposed to be April's sort of like big release, but now that that's gone, I don't know, man. Like if I were some of these films, I'd push that date up. Especially if I were a film that I was like, I don't know how this is going to do.
Yeah,
move that bad boy up. Hey,
any state that doesn't have the coronavirus, release it today. Send people out today to go see.
Give them something to do.
What it's going to look like in a couple weeks.
But you know what I thought was interesting is like, what if they do something different? Like, so for instance, we're gonna talk about something another story here, another aspects of the coronavirus and how it's affecting things here in the U.S. But I think this gives streaming platforms and like another life.
Stay home, stream this.
Exactly. Because what else are you going to be doing?
Don't get the fucking coronavirus. Here's season 3 of Stranger Things, right? Like that's you don't even really have to market.
It's the no brainer.
Yeah, you know how Netflix asks you like, do you want to continue playing?
Yes.
Like,
don't even ask me.
Netflix is like, are you sure you want to leave the house? Hit play. Don't fucking go anywhere. Order food, stay here, watch this.
Shit. Yes, I just thought that was like a really interesting thing that like it's really starting to affect and the reason why I think it's an interesting thing is because now it's not just like a couple of different things that it's affecting. It's kind of affecting everything at one time. So for instance, like the stock market, right? It's starting to plunge because of fears of the coronavirus. China, where we get most of our shit from, is basically on lockdown, so they're not producing as much shit, and thus we don't have enough shit. Like so my brother was sending me like screenshots of like the store and shit, like how there's like nothing there because it's like we're not getting a lot of the shit that we would normally get. And so it's just like, and I'm starting to wonder, like, are we starting to get into like the Night of the Living Dead scenarios here, where it's just like just padlock the door, if somebody comes up, knock, let me in, just don't answer it, get the shotgun ready for
I'm
them.
only answering the door for Amazon Prime. Right?
No, maybe not even them. It depends on where the product is from. Where was that product from? Where do you know it originated from?
I'm just gonna be like, use the hand sanitizer outside the door. I'm gonna speak to them through like
Perel it up. Perel.
Yeah. Use the hand sanitizer, put the package down, walk away. Walk away. But yeah, so the coronavirus is impacting the entertainment industry like all around. I mean, across the board. So in Italy right now, they are obviously very like sport rich country, right? You look at soccer, right? They are prohibiting attendance of fans to any like live sports match, soccer game, right? But the game itself will still go on, but they're prohibiting attendance to the game.
That's what I heard about the NBA. I heard that they were flirting with the idea of not having the crowd there.
Yeah, I mean, like you put 40,000 people, 30,000 people, whatever it may be, inside one building at any one time. I mean,
the likelihood is to escalate.
It fucking increases exponentially.
But you know what's weird about that though is that they'll have the players there, but not like have the staff, the coaches.
Well, I mean, that
to me that's weird. Like I understand it drastically like decreases the chances of like the virus spreading if you don't have like the audience sitting in the crowd or in the stands. But it's like, well, if all of them are home because they're worried about getting this disease and they're worried about being around other people, then what the fuck? Like,
well, see, like the players you can control, right? Like
how?
You have like, so you know who the players are, you know who the staff are.
You don't know where the fuck they're going. If they go up to Taco Bell up the street real quick to get a fucking chalupa.
Yeah, but what do you have? You have team and staff doctors who are like monitoring these players' health, right?
Nobody helped Plaxico when he had the gun.
He shot himself. But like with the virus though, it's much more easy to control and manage, right? Like are any of the players sick? Do any of the players here have a virus? You test them before the game. You draw a little bit of blood.
The worry though is spreading the thing. So like, even if do show symptoms and like, okay, you are sick, chances are you've already been in contact with a lot of people. It's like, well, why risk that? Like because I would assume that a
players
decent
gotta play.
Do they?
We got this television.
We had that.
Yeah, you gotta play. We just signed this
Because
NBA just signed this deal.
DirecTV.
Y'all gotta play.
Coronavirus, no coronavirus.
All right, everybody,
the show must go on.
Yeah, before you hit the court, just wash your hands.
Yeah, Perel out. Yeah.
And then, you better make those jump shots. We need this shit to look good on TV.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. Like they're going to get real froggy with the camera angles. They're going to start taking these like Michael Michael Bay fucking
the low, fast, quick switch angles.
Explosions in the background for no reason.
Why? Wait, did something just explode behind LeBron? Looks good on TV. It doesn't matter.
All right, so let's talk about another aspect to this.
Yo, if I owned a movie theater right now,
it's
with
depressing.
This coronavirus,
yeah, it's depressing. It's depressing.
Fuck, now I got to take out a second mortgage.
No, I think that's why they have insurance for shit like this.
Do they have?
I'm sure they.
Do they have for shit like this?
It's the dumbest shit ever. If you don't come on, if there's a massive pandemic that breaks out. And you're a fucking movie theater chair, or even a fucking restaurant, you have to have something to buffer that, because it's that's not my fucking fault.
But what is the insurance claim?
A fucking pandemic. What do you mean? the goddamn virus.
I don't know.
No. All right.
We're gonna deny this.
Okay. So yeah, no,
there's only one case in the
these
entire
goddamn
state.
insurance companies will definitely try to get out of it.
There's only been one reported case in the state, so we're gonna deny this claim.
So you would view something like the coronavirus like you would any other sort of almost like a natural disaster in a way, right? So if a fucking tornado came and wrecked everywhere, and you're in the county over, and sales have dropped considerably. You have to have something to get the that, because that's not your fault, but it's something that affects your neighbor, your business greatly. So it's you have to there has to be something to curtail that.
I would agree with that.
Unforeseen event.
I just wonder, from a insurance perspective, right?
No, they definitely don't want to pay anything. Ever,
insurance company doesn't want to pay that shit. And what would you find? Sure, you could say this is a pandemic, epidemic, natural disaster.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if I'm not confident I was using the right word. Is pandemic?
Not.
Is pandemic the correct terminology to use there?
I don't know.
Epidemic. I think epidemic is better. I like that better. Epidemic? I'm gonna edit this shit out so that I'm gonna overdub it
because the fucking plague was epidemic, right?
Yeah,
polio and all that shit was.
Quick, define what epidemic is.
What the fuck is a pandemic?
Just pandemonium.
Is that like a gender neutral epidemic? You pangender? Pandemic.
I'm not gonna fall into this trap. This feels like a trap. This feels like a trap. It feels like you're trying to trap me in
an epidemic who doesn't want to be labeled.